Everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the 737-700, so the next generation. This was, I believe, the first 737 of the next generation to be released. It's it's a 737. It's one of the most used aircraft in the planet. This is a Southwest one in the special golden livery, as you can see here. This is, I think, the only one in this livery in the Southwest fleet. Southwest is one of the larger and possibly largest operators of the 737. I don't actually know off the top of my head who the largest 737 operator is. The next generation Boeing 737 next generation, so the 600, 700, 800, and 900 have started to slowly be phased out in favor of the 737 MAX, because that's sort of the generation we're on now. Although there are still 737 classic generation aircraft in operation, and next generation is going to be in operation for years and years to come. It's no longer the newest 737. So the 737 is actually quite low to the ground, due to it originally being designed with turbo jets rather than turbofans like this, and it was designed to be very, very small. So the original 737 was only 28 meters long, whereas the classic generation gets up into the 30s and 40s even of length in meters. And actually, when they moved to some of the newer Boeing 737s, I can't remember what generation they changed it, but they changed the wing design to accommodate various things, such as lengthening the aircraft, increased efficiency, and things such as that. The reason for the engines looking the way they do, I hope it's sort of conveyed well. It's like a hamster pouch design. I can't remember the name. I think that's the name of the engine design. But it's sort of flatter at the bottom than at the top. So the top is curved more so than the bottom. And that's due to the fact that when they added turbo fans to the aircraft, it was hard to actually have enough space for them, considering the turbojets obviously have a much smaller diameter. And so, because of the decreased diameter, there was much more clearance between the ground and the engine. And Boeing wanted to put the engines under the wing rather than by the tail section to make it easier for repair purposes and such as that. That's why they put the turbojets here originally. And of course, when they added the turbofans, they had to put them in the same place. But to get the right ground clearance, they had to make the CFM engines actually smaller, by sort of decreasing the diameter and making the bottom of the engine flat like this. It's all to do with being close to the ground for regional purposes, because when it was designed in 1968 or 69, I can't remember exactly what year it was that they were originally designed, it was expected that it would go into regional airports that didn't really have the sort of jetways and facilities like that. So I believe the 737 is actually quite a bit closer to the ground than other narrow-body jets like the 757 and the A320, for example. Another function of being so low to the ground was that the main landing gear didn't have wheel covers for the wheel well. You can see here the wheels are exposed when the main gear is retracted, and that's because of how close it is to the ground. Due to the proximity to the ground, it would have been incredibly complicated to create a door that didn't interfere with the ground on takeoff and landing. Hence why the wheels actually seal up against the fuselage when retracted, and the actual 737 has hubcaps that are designed to decrease the roughness of the surface that the air passes over, essentially, to make it more aerodynamic. That's pretty much it for the outside. It's interesting. On this aircraft, they painted the Fowler flap rail things in red. So that's why they're red here. The winglets are painted in the same design as the tail. Obviously, it's mainly gold with a red stripe that goes all the way across the aircraft with an orange stripe just at the tail. And it only says Southwest here on the tail. There's an American flag and the registration number. And here it essentially states something about this livery. I think it says gold or something. And it's supposed to be a sort of homage livery to the former livery of their 737s before they went to the new blue livery. I think that's pretty much it. I won't be bringing the normal blue livery for a while. I wanted to focus more on getting new airlines out and new aircraft variations. I only have a few more aircraft to go before I've released every aircraft I have, excluding variants, which change in length. What else am I missing? Oh yeah, I wanted to focus more on European airlines too, because, well, the airport I'm planning on making is a European one, and because of that, I feel like it would be prudent to make more aircraft that I might actually end up using in the airport that I eventually make. So, yeah. Although there are going to be a few more airlines that operate pretty much in the U.S. only coming up, just because I want, like, there are some aircraft like the 767-400. Only 2 airlines operate that right now, Delta and United. So that's not a great example of airlines that only operate in the U.S., but you get the idea. Anyway, without further ado, I guess it's time to look inside this Southwest 737. Just break the door here. Right. Okay. So going in from the main door, you sort of have this entrance area. There's a small galley on this side. This would be the door you would load the food in through. You've got a small lavatory at the front here. And going forward, you have the cockpit. So this is Boeing 737. It's got 2 cabin crew, jump seats, and there's actually a yoke rather than a side stick like Airbus aircraft have. There's the throttles here. The light I had to put in the floor because there's really no space in the ceiling. Yeah. Going back into the aircraft, you've got the aircraft itself, or the cabin itself, and this is 100% economy class. You've got overhead bins over here and sort of the roof. Southwest operates on the policy of you can sit wherever you like in the aircraft, so first person to get on can pick whatever seat they'd like. I think it's a good policy, especially considering it's been proven that is the fastest boarding method. Only problem is if you are with, say, a family, it might be hard. I don't know. I've never flown, so anything I say is pretty much purely based off the statistics of how fast it is to board. I can see some problems with it, but I suppose it makes sense. Don't know if I'd ever want to be in that position anyway, though. I don't know. It's hard to say. So back here you have the aft galleys. So there are 3 galleys, and this back bulkhead wall is split in half. So half is the galley, and the other half is the lavatory. So there are just 2 lavatories. It's a budget airline, although it's funny. I've heard that in the U.S. people seem to enjoy flying on budget airlines rather than the big 3: Delta, United, and what's the other one? Delta, United, and it's not Continental anymore. It's American Airlines. Anyway, that's just a brief look at the 737. And in this case, it's in the Southwest Special Golden Livery. Hopefully, over the next 3 videos, I should be finishing up. I have an A330 to show you, an A380, and, well, the 737 is the only other new aircraft. After that, it will be variants, and then I will be getting on to other liveries of previous aircraft. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Also, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Let me know what you want. This was a request. This livery in this aircraft was a request, and I'm willing to fulfill other requests for aircraft. So just let me know what you think and what you want. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Bye.